Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by Generals Reborn.com, with me as your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, Pat?
It's a Full Force Weekly.
Yes, it is. We are back. It's been a calm week in the world of Full Force, because I've sort of did the weekly with you, Pat, last week, and then that was it. We haven't done anything in the week. That's my bad. But also, it hasn't been crazy busy in terms of news, and yet we still have a bumper episode for you all. How are you doing, pal?
Doing just fine. This week is a little more in control than last week, I would say.
Oh, good. You wrangled it in.
I did. Yeah.
Just a heads up for everybody. We are going to be trying to cut this one to about an hour today, so wish us luck. But Pat has to go a little early, and I also don't have all day to sit and chat Joe, which is a shame because I kind of want that. But in any case, we are going to try and keep this to an hour, and you guys can time us and let us know when we're taking too long, like now, for example. Anyway, Pat, let's get stuck into the news then, bud, because we have got loads to talk about. And also, welcome to everybody on the old chat as well. Now, first off, we've got a little bit of comics news. Graphics change as well. Yes, it is the Comics Burst section of the show, and we have our first look at issue 316 of A Real American Hero. I was a bit late to this situation the other day, but to my defense, I've been very busy this week, and that's one of the reasons I haven't been doing just bursts every 5 seconds, because I would do, you know me. But yes, we have our first look at issue 316 of A Real American Hero. Pat is going to slink off into the background at the moment and not say anything because he hasn't been keeping up, unfortunately.
I haven't been, yeah.
But don't have no fear. I also have been reading this every single time. But could I tell you anything about it off the top of my head? No. At the moment, I feel like in my head, things go in and everything else gets pushed out. Everything else I've ever learned goes out of my head just to focus on the current things. So, I have no idea what's going on in the issue right this moment, which is kind of crazy, really, when you think about it. But we do have some nice covers to look at, and I've instantly forgotten who, again, this is my brain working or not working, as it were. With all of the covers, I can't remember who did what. I'm sure Mark is probably in the chat, and he'll probably tell us exactly what is going on. But he did actually know what he did do. When I posted this the other day, he made a comment that basically explained everything that was going on. So we have... Who do we have on the covers? I can't tell you. Andy Kubert. So Andy Kubert's done... Is it these ones? Has he done these ones? That's amazing.
Is this then a direct reference to... Okay, it does look a little bit different. I wanted to see if the Welcome to Springfield sign was similar to the one that's on issue number 10, but it is a little bit different than that.
It's pretty cool, though, isn't it? You've got Snake Eyes basically getting dressed as a Crimson Guard there, so he's going undercover, literally. And we do have, obviously, another cut. So obviously these are Andy Kubert covers, and I should have known that straight away because I knew Andy Kubert had done or he'd done some of the covers, and obviously it's these ones. You can kind of tell as soon as you say it, honestly. And then we also have a what have we got? It is the Camouflage variant by Francis Portela, and this is the Dawn Moreno cover as well. So we do have a little bit of Snake Eyes going on with the covers on this one. What do you think of the Camouflage variants, Pat, where you've kind of got some of the figure blending in with the background?
I think it's artistically neat. I think I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Talking Joe, and they have been doing loads of interviews over the last, well, loads of episodes in general. And one of them is obviously one of the types of episodes they do is they go through, Tim and Mark, of course, they go through each episode and they kind of break down some of the cover art and the interior art, and they talk about the issues and stuff like that. They've been doing it obviously with the silent missions that have been coming out. I really enjoyed Beachhead and Jinx, both those issues are out already the last couple of weeks. We've got, I think, Spirit and we've got Roblox, Spirit, and Duke still to come. So I'm really excited for that one. Mark says Andy Kubert and Laura Martin. Andy Kubert has done all the covers since 301. That's crazy impressive. Thank you, Mark. And yeah, I should have known, really, shouldn't I? In that sense, we also get a little bit of interiors here. Now, one thing I will say about the current A Real American Hero issues, the artwork is just phenomenal. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I think this is Chris Mooneyham, I want to say. And I also want to say that I think the style where they've got, like, he's always doing this kind of like top and bottom border of the stars, like introducing the kind of issue. And I really like that. I think it looks really, really cool. But I just think the art's phenomenal. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And here we see, a bit of Law and Order, Sherlock, Spirit. Basically, I think we're at the, is it Fort Wadsworth? Are we back at Fort Wadsworth? I can't remember, guys. But they've changed the pit location, haven't they? I can't remember whereabouts it is. Yeah. Oh, okay. Paul Pelletier is doing it, tag teaming with Chris Mooneyham. Thank you, guys. So Paul, yeah, and again, like whoever it is, whether it's Chris or it's Paul, it's just stunning artwork. I'm loving it. So yeah, I'm really into like the Sky. Like I said, I've said before, the Skybound comics are phenomenal. I love what they're doing across the board with Energon Universe. I'm really invested in that, and of course, A Real American Hero. I'm always going to be reading that. So yeah, and this is one of the things, Pat. I know you're not at the moment. You're not kind of up on the run, but what I'm finding is when these issues come out, I want to read them immediately. So like, again, that would probably be the case if you were kind of up on, on all the issues in the comics. But I know you haven't been reading like most of IDW, have you?
No. It's I'm sad to say that, but no.
Which is a phenomenal amount. Like, there's a lot of story going on there.
Yeah.
Not all of it great.
I'd like to see a collected volume of all of it, like an easy way to get all of it so that I don't have to worry about tracking down individual trades or anything to get caught up. But
I wonder if that might be happening at some point. Have they revealed that? Mark, let us know in the comments if they're doing the kind of combined IDW works, because it must be a bit of a weird thing when you talk. Like, it's one thing to do like the Marvel run, which has that distance and time between it. It's another for another company to release what the previous company just did as well. So I don't know how that works really, and I can't remember if they've revealed anything about that. So yeah, let us know in the comments, please, and thank you. But yeah, these kind of like first look pages look phenomenal. Mindbender is still affected. If you guys are keeping up with the story, as you can see here, you can see and he escaped in the last issue as well from G.I. Joe sort of like control. Mark says nothing has been revealed on IDW reprints so far. So that is thank you very much, Mark. So that is, and that's something that, again, it must be weird for them to have to kind of even think about doing, because it's like a literal, the previous company is so fresh that it would be weird for them to do reprints of what the company just did.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, RKW says Pat doesn't even read the volumes, too busy. So you wouldn't even get a chance, even if they did it, mate. Oh, speaking of comics and volumes, how amazing is that Transformers compendium?
Yeah, that's a big decision too. Like, which direction do you go? Have you considered jumping in on either of those?
100%. I haven't yet, but that is definitely something I'm really interested in.
Which one are you leaning toward?
I'd probably do Autobots, just because I'm a good guy, so I'd probably go with that Autobots compendium.
Well, it's also the difference of so you do the Autobots compendium, which
you're talking about the other aspects in options, as opposed to the good guys and the bad guys like we had with G.I. Joe and Cobra.
Yeah, and I think that the Autobots. Am I wrong that that's only available if you have the U.S. reprints and the UK without the changes that blend the UK issues in?
Right. You
I
had,
think
yeah, because I remember you mentioned this to me the other day. You said you've been waiting, haven't you, for this kind of
I have.
opportunity
Yeah.
to have that sort of, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm looking at it now. What is actually more amazing to me is the fact that not only did it fund in 2 minutes, which is insane, but it's also at $2,390,817 already. Do you think, Pat, it's going to eclipse the GI Joe compendium set?
One of the things it has going for it is if you go all in, it's a much more expensive all in, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think it's like $700 to get the books both ways, and I think a lot of people will do that.
It's crazy. I mean, that's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's also nuts that people are like, yeah, going. I mean, there's a lot of Transformers fans that want this. Obviously, I I could see this definitely doing bigger numbers than the GI Joe compendium because it's already kind of beyond, I think, where Joe was at this stage, which is still an amazing achievement. It was like 4 mil, and just under 4 million. Absolutely mind blowing. So I could see, obviously Transformers it has a bigger fan base. It has a larger kind of commercial reach. It has probably a bigger base to kind of work from. I'm still sitting here going, man, I'm surprised. I'm surprised we're talking millions for what is effectively reprinted issues that I'm sure a lot of people in the Transformers community who are into the comics already have. It's just one of those things I think that I'm always a little bit, not blindsided, but maybe a little blind to just how popular these things can be.
Yeah, but I mean, GI Joe's kind of surprised me in recent years as well.
Massively.
Like
Yeah.
we talked about that with Operation Cobra, the game that's going on. It's really surprising how much more of a reach GI Joe has had, and I don't know. I mean, Transformers versus GI Joe, it reminds me back in the club days where it seemed like the GI Joe club actually had more consistency of its fan base than Transformers did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they're just two very different groups, but I also think to like Marvel fans, like general Marvel Comics fans,
Mm.
and my guess is that they're bigger fans of GI Joe than they are Transformers. I
Yeah.
think, but you know, this is really a unique opportunity for Transformers at the same time, and the Furman stuff was some of the most enjoyable stuff of that run for me.
Yeah.
Growing up, I got really excited when that stuff started happening, and then to find out that there was an entire section of it that I had missed, and then to have this opportunity to get it. I mean, sure, there are digital versions of it out there, but those are hard to sort. You first have to sort them for yourself,
Mm.
and then you're not getting the proper transitions. This is a way to actually sit down and read everything. So I think that even if you just want the convenience of not having to dig through and collect everything yourself, or find it online in a way that is readable, I think that there's a lot of convenience that's offered here.
I'm just trying to look at, is there an option that combines every single possible, like, every single possible aspect?
I,
And
I think that the Optimus Prime option is the one that combines. It is a little confusing.
there's a Unicron. Have you seen the Unicron
I've seen
option?
the Unicron option. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
the Unicron option's everything, isn't it? What is that, like $900 or something?
$900, yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Jetfire 600, Unicron 900 with a book plate. My goodness, I think that's all gone now, isn't it? Yeah, that one's all gone.
Wait,
My
what one's gone? Unicron?
The Unicron book plate,
Okay.
Jetfire
Yeah, I
book
was a little
plate,
confused with the book
all
plates,
the book
and then
plates are
the
gone, I
fact
think.
that the names of the tiers were also the names of the characters was a little confusing.
Unicron is still there. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got to block a user in the in the comments. I don't know what that's about. Some sort of weird comment. Anyway, as in like a bot scenario. I think it's Pat. I think Pat's doing his little side missions again, aren't you, mate? The Naked HD is back. Do you know what we haven't had for the longest time? That
Naked HD?
we haven't had that for the longest time. What have you
No.
have you just
Are
been
you
too
sad?
busy? Have you just been too busy?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway, that is the first look at A Real American Hero. I'm really excited for the Transformers compendium and what that's gonna like, what people, because I didn't get in on the GI Joe compendium because for one thing it was crazy expensive. For another thing, I had all the issues, so it was like in many different ways. So it wasn't something that was really like
Yeah.
crazy appealing to me. But then when I saw people getting them in and how beautiful they look and all that, I was kind of like, that's amazing. This is slightly different with the Transformers because again, it's that UK kind of compendium aspect, which again makes me really excited to kind of see that combined into like a big volume. So who knows? We'll have to see, won't we, going forward? But it's still open for 25 days, plenty of time to make decisions. There's 5,599 backers already. That's really impressive. Anyway, that's that. We'll move on now to a little bit of it was a bit kind of miserable news, but we still have to talk about it. It is a mixture of Hasbro moving and tariffs. What? Yeah, we're here and we're talking about this stuff, but we'll get it out of the way quickly because I hate talking about this stuff. It's so, and I know you don't like it, Pat, because it's kind of like boring. But we'll start with the Boston move, or the fateful Hasbro Boston move. They have delayed their decision to move to Boston or to stay in Rhode Island until the summer. Now we have the broken down article from WPRI, and that is that toy maker Hasbro has pushed back its timeline for deciding whether to move its headquarters out of Rhode Island. The spokesperson, sorry, I just knocked Snake Eyes over. The spokesperson said earlier today, we shared with our employees that we are making progress on determining our HQ with clarity expected by this summer. And that was Abby Hodes. We'll keep you updated in the coming months about any additional relevant news. So anything that pops up, we'll obviously kind of keep on top of this and see what's going on. The decision comes as Hasbro execs, like their counterparts at other companies, are dealing with the fallout from the tariffs. The majority of Hasbro's toy and game products are manufactured in China, Vietnam, India, and Japan, along with the United States. And they are obviously in a position where they wanted to move to Boston, and obviously that might be on hold for more than just the summer, I'd imagine. I could imagine them actually maybe coming to a decision that was actually not moving at this point in time. During a visit to New Bedford earlier this week, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey continued to hold her cards close to the vest when asked about Hasbro's potential relocation. She said, I always am welcoming businesses to Massachusetts. I think we're a great state to do business. We're number one in the country for education, for innovation, and for healthcare. So we've got a lot of great things going for us here in Massachusetts, and it's why you continue to see companies not only come here, but expand here. And as governor, I want to do everything I can to support that. Now, that's on one side of the coin. But also, Governor Dan McKee and other Rhode Island officials have sounded increasingly doubtful about whether Hasbro will stay, though they continue to express their desire to keep the company local. After returning to Rhode Island from vacation on Wednesday, McKee indicated he hadn't received any updates from Hasbro execs. He said, we provided a proposal that we believe is tough for them to walk away from. If they decide to leave, then we're going to thank them for the 100 years that they've been here, but we're doing everything that we can to convince them that this is the place where they should be. Interesting on that one, Pat, the fact that they've said they've provided a proposal that we believe is tough for them to walk away from. What the hell do you think they've offered them? Lots of money, tax breaks?
Tax breaks is probably what I was guessing. That's how I interpreted that.
Yeah, this is all. I will say this is all very much one of those news stories that doesn't actually give you anything other than we'll tell you a bit later on. It's just one of those sort of updates that just pushes things a little further down the line. But yeah, it's no different than when we were a few days ago. Cole says horse's head in a bed. An offer they couldn't refuse. Yeah, maybe, Cole, maybe. Yeah, Mark says a horse's head left in Hasbro's boardroom. Yeah, it could be that. Anyway, I I will continue to say that I think it's a bad idea for them to move to Boston, for many reasons. What the main reason is a selfish one. At this moment in time, I'm quite close geographically to Hasbro. If they move to Boston, it makes things a little bit more difficult for me. So in terms of going to the Hasbro office, I'm not a massive fan of driving to Boston on the best of times. When we have to go and when we have to go and fly out of Boston Logan, the traffic is hideous. No matter what time it is, either. Like, it's always hideous, and it seems to me every time I get to the airport, they've changed how you get there, and it's probably not the case at all. It's just me just being completely and utterly confused by the awful way you get into the airport. In any case, what do you think, Pat? Would you be sad to see them move?
I like I don't know. Maybe it's just me wanting to still enjoy and savor that Hasbro history, and see them in that space where Flubber may or may not be buried underneath the parking lot. Just some of that, some of those old stories and the history that exists there. I would be really kind of sad to see that go away. Uh, that said, it feels like if it's not a good decision now, was it a good decision before?
Right. I mean,
Hey, now that we know that there's going to be, financial difficulties moving forward, we're not going to do, we're going to put it on hold, as if the world was not going to present financial difficulties before. Different things come up. There's been plenty of struggles across the last 5 years. That's for certain.
Absolutely. It's a good point.
That's weird.
Very good point. That I would say that they weren't in a great position to move to Boston when this first came up, and I would say this has also been on the cards for millennia. This isn't just a new thing that's popped up because Chris Cox wants to move there. Like, they have been talking about moving to Boston for a very, very long time. And I think a lot of it is down to the fact that they want to be in a place that is like, I don't know, they probably feel like Boston is more of a known quantity than Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And so, like, from a global perspective, taking people and, clients and other kind of partners or what have you to Boston, it for them feels a little bit more, I don't know, classy, I want to say, for lack of a better term. And to me, it doesn't really feel like it's necessary. I don't, like, Hasbro seem to be able to partner. They seem to have the upper hand when it comes to partnerships. Do you know what I mean? Like, people want to partner with Hasbro. They want to pitch ideas to them as a company. I hardly feel like it needs to be finessed any more than that. But who knows? I'm not the one that's in the boardroom talking with these people and having these kind of conversations, so I'm not really sure. Does it seem to you to be just a bit of a, I don't know, like a I can't think of the term, but like, it doesn't seem to be practical.
It seems a bit of posturing. Is that the word that you're looking for?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, there's a practical element to it, because if you already have a lot of people that you do business with working with each other in Boston for whatever the case may be, then it may just be easier to have people visit Hasbro and make decisions and do things. But I don't know, with as much stuff goes on online anyway now.
Yeah,
I don't know how important it is. It just feels like it's becoming less important. I mean, didn't they have some offices in New York for a while as well?
Yeah, they've had a few that they've had to shut down, actually.
Yeah.
Obviously they had a building in Providence as well, which isn't there, and they even took the sign down, which was really sad. Like, I used to drive past that and see the big kind of Hasbro sign as I was going past the 95. Like, I'd see it, like, as I was driving past, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And then, like, in the last, I don't know, like 6 months or so, it was removed about 6 months ago, probably a bit longer than that, actually. Time is not even a construct anymore for me. Yeah, I think one of the other things I have a problem with the move to Boston is just how much it affects everyone that works there.
Yeah,
Like, it might be good for like one or two executives, but like when it comes to the majority of people that work at Hasbro, they're already like they've set up roots, they're in position, they've got families in certain areas, they've got kids in schools, they've got all these different things to think about, and then now they're supposed to uproot and move to to Boston, which is not easy, not cheap, and I don't think Hasbro is going to be relocating all of their staff on their coin, are they? So it's like, I don't know. I just find the whole thing a little bit like it seems to. I don't know. It just seems to be like that. Yeah, that just for that cachet, just for that posturing, just for that kind of, hey, we're in Boston, we've got a beautiful new building, and check
I,
this out.
I do
But
wonder
yeah,
what other businesses are in Boston that they plan on doing business with that they need to be that
I
close
th-
to.
I think it's more about maybe travel. So
Right,
getting to
the airport and
Boston,
getting in and out
yeah,
and stuff. But I've traveled Rhode Island. It's not that hard.
it's
It's
not
not
it's not
bad.
not that bad. Anyway, that's the move to Boston on hold, or at least the decision to move to Boston is on hold until the summer. We'll see what happens, I don't know, in a couple of months, basically, and keep you up to date on what's happening there. Now, in relation to that, obviously, Big Bad Toy Store posted a very kind of like heartfelt note
Yeah,
regarding the tariffs and how they're being affected as a company, and it kind of really it's affecting everyone really, especially in the toy industry. Like, that is kind of one of the main issues that seems to be happening to every single company. I've noticed a lot of kind of mid-range, small to mid-range companies basically pausing all pre-orders, pulling a lot of pre-orders as well. I've
yeah,
noticed a lot of things are kind of on hold at the moment until there's any sort of development here. But Big Bad Toy Store posted this, obviously, this kind of like I said, very heartfelt note to anyone that's ever utilized Big Bad Toy Store in the past. Oh, sorry. And you can see this on the full kind of like explanation and everything, and how it's affecting Big Bad Toy Store in the link in the comments, courtesy of Toy News International. So you can check that out. Obviously, link in the description, as I've just said. So they are basically saying on this one that the meat of it is that they're being affected in a massive way, and unfortunately they're going to try and soak up as much on their side, but unfortunately it also does pour out to the customers as well. So I believe there are some like fees going out to some customers with open pre-orders and stuff like that. As far as I'm aware, I think a few people have noted that, which really sucks, but kind of the situation we're in at the moment, isn't it?
yeah. I think that the warning was that some of the prices of things that were pre-ordered are going to be going up.
Yep.
So basically, it's a warning to people to look at their pre-orders and probably make adjustments as needed. I don't think that they will just adjust the price the second that something comes in stock. I don't think they're going to do that. I'm curious how things will be affected because not everything that they sell is coming from the same place.
Yeah.
That's one issue. The other issue that I have is that I've had a lot of pre-orders from Big Bad. I have had a pile of loot since they've started pile of loots pretty much.
Yeah.
Other than 2020, which was a very sad moment for me to be canceling a bunch of things, and then I slowly started the pre-orders that I no longer even like having. But I do have a couple of things that are so expensive that they ask for a non-refundable down payment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, what's going to go on with those if the price of those goes up. It's like, but my
They're already
payments
pretty
are
high.
non-refundable,
Yeah.
so I don't have the option to not spend this amount, and it puts things in a weird place. So I still have a lot of questions about it.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, Max just
we'll
mentioned.
see.
Max just mentioned in-stock items are not subject to tariff prices adjustment. They arrive pre-tariff. Yeah, I know, Max. That's why we said pre-orders in that sense. So yeah, anything that's already in stock that you've already, yeah. But again, that's not going to be the problem. It's going to be stuff that's coming over in this particular time period. Paul says they'll just increase the prices more in addition to the $2 to $5 they already ask over MSRP. Absolutely. It's just, yeah, it's kind of a bit. Yeah, it's terrifying news, Cole. Indeed, I've used that joke already this week, just to try and make things like slightly less miserable. But anyway, like I said, I'm not going to read out the whole statement, but you can find that in the description below for all the details on the BBTS specifically. I imagine a lot of other companies will probably follow suit in similar ways, but it was nice that BBTS at least laid it out in very clear terms. Something that I think, yeah, it was a good move on their part, and kind of makes it very clear to everyone who is buying product from BBTS. So I applaud them for that. Hopefully, some developments move in a positive way in the next couple of weeks, because obviously this is affecting a lot of companies, a lot of small, mid, and now even obviously very big companies as well. So let's hope it moves in the right direction. That's enough of that. Let's talk, and you can still ask questions in the comments, guys. I'll try and get to them as and when. But let's get stuck into a little bit more positive news, and we'll look at some nice images now, Pat, from Fans Hobby. Yeah, so Fans Hobby have shared brand new product images for their VE01 Air Eagle, courtesy of I Am No Fire on Weibo, and they look really frigging good. I've got to say, like, I must be. I think I'm just a sucker for promo images. They always kind of basically make my mind up for me. It's so bad. Like, I'll see a render and I'll be like, yeah, that's cool, that's nice, or I'll see like a development image. And I'll be like, yeah, that's all right, and then they drop a promo image, and I'm like, I need it. How are you? What I mean, I know you've got your kind of opinions on this particular vehicle and everything, but what did you think of these images?
It looks nice. I'm not. It really didn't move me at all in
Yeah,
either
it didn't move the
direction.
Pat needle.
No, the needle has not been moved. If this is something that somebody really wants and is excited about it, I'm not here to say, hey, this is garbage or anything. It looks,
Right.
very clearly well constructed. I think that you will get what you want. Again, the image that you see of Duke and his face all lit up, that looks like it really is just from the lighting within the vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got.
So
Did I go past that?
I don't think. Yeah,
It's
there
kind
it
of
is.
that's. Oh, there's a lit up kind of display as well, which is really nice too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So I think that for people who are excited for it, I can't imagine anybody really using those parts that make it not look at all like the Skyhawk, right? It's still weird to me that they were told not to make it and then they, move forward with this. That really still doesn't make it look like not a Skyhawk, but uh,
it is the definitely it's a Skyhawk, isn't it? Tony, sorry, just to quickly want to cover some of these questions. I don't want to kind of like feel like I'm ignoring anybody. Any word on Hasbro doing the same regarding tariff, regarding price hikes and that kind of stuff for tariffs? I assume so, Tony. They've already talked about that. In Chris Cox has even mentioned that in an interview where he said that price increases, you will see that in the next couple of months, and that was only about a month ago. So I imagine we'll start seeing that pretty soon.
well, I think that Hasbro, maybe he's talking about Hasbro Pulse because I wondered the same thing. Like,
Oh,
are
as
we
in,
going to get
right,
a
right.
notice on some of the pre-orders that came through there? Are some of those things going to go up in price? And
Could
there are
be.
people worried about the HasLabs. And I don't think that the deal with the HasLab is that if you pay for it, that they can just decide to not ship it or that it
Yeah, I
could fall
think
through like Kickstarter.
I would imagine
HasLabs are different.
I imagine Hasbro being the company that it is, and not saying that it's got any integrity or anything, but I mean, as in terms of like the size that it is, they might be able to swallow some of that and not do anything that's already available. What I think we'll
Yeah.
probably see is price increases on future things going forward. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing pre-order wise with in the same way that BBTS did that, but that's just a guess. Honestly, I don't know.
Honestly,
Um,
I wonder if there's going to be any rushes to get things to the shore now,
there's going to be
or
delays, isn't there, on this, I
if
think.
if July hits, are companies going to delay anything? Like, could they try to delay the release of something to hope that the tariffs will go away?
I think there's probably a pause on a lot of things coming out of the country. I think that anything that was like on its way, that's just happening now and you can't stop it. But I think anything that isn't like on a boat right now, they'll probably end up trying to store in China, in mainland
Right, but
China, or
isn't it there? This whole thing's delayed till July anyway, right?
yes.
I think it's on hold until July, and so I would think
Wasn't
that
yeah,
you
but
try to
wasn't
get stuff over fast.
yeah, well, that's maybe that was another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, Pat. Do you think, and I know we're on the wrong image at the moment, but do you think all of those like recent huge amounts of pre-orders, huge amounts of products to show and show off and everything, the fact we've got something coming in 3 days on the 15th of April, more pre-orders, another event and everything, do you think that is them trying to rush stuff through as fast as possible before it starts getting fully affected?
I don't think so. I mean, it was. I don't think that anybody at Hasbro was aware of any of this stuff coming up.
I don't know. But I mean, they've been talking about tariffs for a long time.
They have been, but how do you know what the timing of things is going to end up being? You know, production's hard enough. I don't think so.
Okay,
I
it's
mean,
just weird to
I
me
don't
that we've
think that
got. It's weird to me that we've got so many pre-orders in a short space of time already this year.
right.
It feels like there's been like, let's get as much out as possible. Like that's what it feels to me, especially considering that
Yeah.
first wave. And what's really crazy is the fact that they even talked about delays back in New York Comic Con, which had nothing to do, obviously, with tariffs at that time at all. It was something completely different. But the fact that there's already a delay on GI Joe classified stuff, and I just don't know. I can't work out what is going on. Everything seems to be very all over the place. Doesn't seem to be any like clear pattern that's going on in terms of the release schedule.
Hmm.
And the fact that we're getting all this stuff real quick, I don't know. It seems. I'm not saying it's like. I'm not saying it's like. What's the word? Like it's because of that, but something is making them for something is forcing their hand to get this stuff out a bit quicker, because the last four figures that are going to be coming up on the 15th of April, like according to the line plan that we had from like last year, basically that was supposed to be in Yojo June. And I'll be asking these questions for sure, like what's going on, guys, why is this stuff coming out so quick? But yeah, it's I don't know, it surprises me that we're getting so much so soon.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to have any idea or guesses what the answer is, though.
Zartan, thank you for the super chat. He says, invest in a mass device. There's no tariffs when you teleport things. Thank you, Zartan. Much appreciated. Yeah, apparently China's excluded from the delay, Pat. It's everyone else is got the delay.
Oh, okay.
China's immediate from like 100 and something percent,
GI Joes are
145.
from Vietnam, though, aren't they?
Well, yes. And yes, I think you're right. I think Vietnam is Joe, which is probably why we're getting loads of stuff pumped out. I'll have to ask them that question. Anyway, coming back to Fans Hobby, beautiful images. Is that one you were talking about, Pat, with the light on Duke's face?
Let me see. It was the third image or second image that I was talking. There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Very nice
indeed.
indeed.
Well, you can really see your figure in there. This looks like a well-constructed vehicle, but again, there's no way Hasbro's not going to ever put out theirs. So personally, I'm not going to be buying. I skipped the Rattler HasLab just because of money at the time and space. I'm not going to buy this and not have the Rattler.
Totally. Anyway, yeah, some wonderful photos. I'm just kind of rinsing through them now, but like, yeah, amazing stuff from I Am No Fire. And again, I'm not sure if they were like, they were shared by Fans Hobby. I'm not sure if they were like, officially done on purpose sort of thing through them, but they're just so cool. And yeah, I don't know, I really do like what they've done with this thing. And I know a lot of people have been kind of enjoying their Air Eagle. Oh, I went too far. But that is literally all the images from VE01 Air Eagle. We posted that earlier this week on our social, so you can check those out. Next up then, Pat, we'll get stuck into classified, seeing as we are getting into, we're actually doing all right. We're doing okay. So I'm not gonna rush anything. But we're getting into classified now. Paul says, Welp just announced smartphone and computers are exempt from tariffs. Maybe they'll do toys too. Could you imagine? That would be amazing. Um, anyway, enough tariff talk now. We're moving on because it's too depressing, and we can talk about it on an. I don't even want to talk about it on like a full ep. I don't even want to like give it loads of time to talk about because I think everyone's just aware of it. Everyone's kind of depressed about what it could mean. The other thing I will say, one last thing on that, Pat. It's very rare that prices go down after a rise, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's very true.
So
And
to
I could see if the tariffs cause us to get used to a $30 price point, then that $30 price point's never going to go away.
Exactly. That's what I'm a bit concerned about. Anyway, let's talk about leaked classified images. So Jay Khan has been posting some more leaked images following the render reveals of Battle Armor Cobra Commander and Monkey Wrench. Specifically, those are the two figures that we have leaked images for. As you can see, this was the render for Cobra Commander. I only put this on here so that we can kind of not necessarily compare, but we can kind of remind ourselves what this figure is going to look like in full, with like full deco and what have you. And then this is what Jay Khan posted. So we have the head, shoulders, knees, and no, we don't have knees and toes. We have the head, torso, shoulders, and like the grundle, as I like to call it, with a few bits and pieces. We've got the secondary belt and holster, and we've got a couple of different backpacks in different kind of test shot versions. First off, Pat, what are your thoughts looking at some of these little elements, knowing obviously what the figure's going to look like, of course?
I assume that the bottom backpack is the finalized one, right?
Yeah, it could be. Or they could have just run a couple of different,
Options.
tests just to see what it kind of looks like. Yeah, but it could
I
be.
would hope that we're going to get a nice metallic finish on Cobra Commander. I know that it probably would look a little bit better if it had some paint on it,
Yeah,
a nice coat of paint. But sometimes that paint can get too thick in some spots. But looking at the way he's constructed, I don't think that would be. I really don't think that would be a problem.
yeah,
So if it costs more, I don't know if it what the cost difference is of different types of plastic. But the metallic plastic, if that's an additive that's going to cause a problem, then yeah, I think I'd like some paint. I don't know. I could also see too much paint on the helmet washing out some of the details,
yeah, yeah.
especially around the eyes.
Sharlock says limbs will be extra, the arms and legs tier. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? If we started getting builder figures, but you have to buy each, yeah, you have to like each one is a HasLab. That's probably where we're going to be soon. Anyway, really looks cool. I'm excited for this figure in general. There you go. There's the actual final version. There's the final boss. I didn't realize before, but there is extra deco on the backpack. I don't think I've noticed that yet. That extra black kind
The
of
black deco,
elements.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to obviously, probably make that that kind of metallic finish pop a little bit as well, which is nice. Then, of course, we get monkey wrench details. Now, one thing I noticed here, Pat, was quite interesting to me. I thought when we saw this render that the belt loop on the right hand side as you look at it, or Monkey Wrench's left hand belt loop, was
Yeah.
not painted blue. And I thought, oh, that must just be an error on the render. It's probably going to be painted blue, what have you. But then we got these images of obviously this is not the belt loop. I'll go to the belt loop. We got this image of the waist piece with the belt, and that isn't painted either. So I wonder if that's a choice, if they've decided to kind of make it like an interesting metallic belt loop.
Yeah, I didn't notice that whenever the render came out, and so whenever I saw this piece, I thought, well, that's a mistake that needs to be fixed.
Right.
But maybe the reason why the mistake exists on here is because it exists on the render.
Yeah, possibly. That's
So
a good possibility.
I'm hoping that gets changed because it doesn't look right to me. Now, I did
Weird.
make the comment that are these connected to a wallet? And then whoever took a photo is like, we'll conveniently crop it so that even when you're looking at the back, you still can't see what's going on.
Yeah, and you can see on that image on the right hand side that it is also the belt loop on the back is silver as well, which is
Yeah,
interesting. I don't know if that was like a choice for whatever reason, like a design choice. I don't know. We'll have to. Yeah, Cole says factory just copying the render, possibly, very possible.
yeah.
Um, but could be a metallic clip for the chain. The only thing is, it's weird that it's like you're right, and that's probably what it is. But it's weird that it's done that way when you've got a belt loop right there as well. You'd expect a belt loop to be there as well, if that makes sense. It's weird. I'm definitely going to ask that question though. But we also got images of that cool secondary kind of like hairpiece and mask element that looks to be, like a Zorana, Lady J, metalhead sort of vibe, where they've got like a hairpiece that comes off the head and kind of closes on the head like so. Um, Mad Max Cabal. We've talked about this already, Pat, but it's got those vibes, hasn't it?
Oh, completely Cabal for me. But yeah, I really want to hear from them on what the idea is with the 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Was that inspired by something, or is there some sort of function that they have in mind that he would have that?
So I get to speak to the guys again very soon. So following the 15th, depending on obviously what happens, who knows? Maybe they were going to drop pre-orders. This might change. The whole current situation with the world might change that. I don't know. But as of right now, it is like on. That's happening the 15th of April. The like again like a pre-recorded pre-order event. I'll be interviewing them following that in the week, either the 16th, 17th, or 18th, which is working out the date. So we will have a little spot, and I'll put out a social post to see if anyone has any other questions related specifically to these new pre-order things. I will tell you right now, Lenny and Tony will not be able to talk on tariffs, costs, anything like that is going to be really difficult for them to actually talk about. I will definitely ask what the deal is with all of these pre-orders, and if they can or can't answer that, then so be it. But that's about as vague and extra as I can get with them. We're not going to. Well, we can ask the question, but it will be a bit of a waste of time regarding, like I said, costing, um, the elements that are like a little bit out of their control. That we're talking like creative side of things here, guys. Just a heads up on that. But I will put out a
So then
social
I will
post.
want to know, is this potentially a Back to the Future reference? Because Biff had his thug that his buddy thug that wore 3D glasses all the time. I can't really think of any other things in fiction or pop culture where somebody's always wearing 3D glasses.
It might just be an 80s homage because obviously 3D
Could be.
glasses were everywhere, weren't they, back in the day?
Yeah.
Like I remember getting any comic and it just always had a set of 3D glasses on it. It was like solidly like happening on a weekly basis at some point. I also remember, did you guys have Botsmaster?
Botsmaster, yes, that was over here, but I didn't have that.
So I got so excited when Botsmaster came on TV in the UK because it was like there was a big deal made about it, and what they were saying is you have to get these 3D glasses to enjoy the 3D aspect of the episode. And they would tell you when to put the glasses on. It was so fun, and like so you'd watch the cartoon, and then all of a sudden there'd be a 3D part that you'd throw these shades on, and you get to see it like obviously like it was always like side to side distance movement like that. That's all it was. It was like the background was moving like that and they were moving. It was always like something like that. But I got so into that cartoon because of that sort of, buy these glasses from your local whatever shot store or whatever. And I think they had them in a magazine as well that was promoting the cartoon. But yeah, and then they would tell you how to make your own 3D shades on like I think Blue Peter so that you could watch Botsmaster, but have your own made up shades. So I think they this is so funny, but they utilized sweet wrappers, like candy wrappers. I think it was like a box of what was it? God, this is going to really stretch my brain here. It was either Quality Street or Roses. People in the UK will know exactly what I'm talking about. They were tins of chocolates and sweets and candy that had these like specific wrappers, different colors, transparent, and yeah, they had a red and a blue one. And I'm pretty sure that was what Blue Peter, which was another TV show, um, kind of like showed you how to make your own shades. It was kind of fun. But yeah. Figure Six Pack says Biff's gang from Back to the Future had a guy wearing 3D glasses. Yes, Pat just mentioned that Figure Six Pack. Zip Zoolander, ZZ for short. Yes, Gaz. Oh my god, how good was that cartoon? Viper Scout loved it. Lots of people seem to like that show. Battle Action Force had a load of 3D. Yeah, they had 3D kind of adverts as well, which were really cool. And yes, I believe there was a whole GI Joe comic series in 3D, wasn't there, Pat?
Blackthorn Comics, yeah, the
Yeah,
GI Joe in 3D, as well as Transformers.
it was a huge, huge fad in that time period for sure. And do
Yeah,
you know what's really funny? I bought a T-shirt from. This is gonna really piss me off now for not remembering. Uh, Paul, please remind me in the comments. I know you're watching. I completely forget the name of the T-shirt company now. It was they're really good, and the guy made a Cobra Commander T-shirt, which I've got. It's amazing, and it's like this weird kind of material print. And they come with a pair of these 3D glasses. You put them on, and it basically shows you. It's like the Transformers Codex thing.
yeah,
It's like that. 8-Bit Zombie, thank you, Paul. 8-Bit Zombie did the t-shirts. They're incredible. And it's Cobra Commander normal, but when you put the shades on, it shows you it's the Once a Man Cobra Commander underneath. It is so awesome. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. It's
that's
so
pretty
good.
cool.
It's so good. And that was recent. That was like the last like 3 or 4 years, basically. Thank you, Paul, for reminding me. I apologize to 8-Bit Zombie for completely forgetting who did that t-shirt. Medieval Alchemist says my favorite was Ninjas from Botsmaster. Yeah, Ninjas was really cool. Yeah, anyway, that is the little headpiece there from Monkey Wrench. And of course, we've already looked at his bits and bobs. It's a really nice like belt buckle kind of detail there with the wrenches and the skull. I love that.
For sure, yeah. For Monkey Wrench to have something like that that's specific to him, I like it.
Very, very cool. And of course, the vest as well, which has a nice bit of detailing on the back, which is the first we've seen of this, of course, because obviously the render only shows you from the front. But that's a nice bit of detail. Do you think there's going to be a Dreadnoks logo on that? It looks like that Dreadnoks logo, doesn't
Like
it?
there's
Shape.
space for something, maybe. With a big hole there, I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but I guess it could be. I mean, that fits with a biker gang kind of look to them.
It could be that it's got Dreadnoks written on the top, maybe over the hole, and then at the bottom it might have the
Yeah,
logo,
maybe.
possibly. I don't
I mean,
know.
they did that with Torch, right? In the 25th line, they added the Melbourne Maulers.
In the 25th, yes, which I thought was really cool, and I kind of wanted them
Yeah,
to do that on the classified figure. Do you know? I think Andrew Franks had something to do with that. Shout out to Andrew. I
yeah.
believe he designed that for the back of that Monkey Wrench figure. So shout out to Andrew on that one. Um, yeah, Paul says I hope they fix the belt loop. I'm not sure. I think it might be a design choice, Paul. I'll have to ask them that question when we see them on.
It feels wrong though.
It does, yeah,
Like I
it
don't like
does.
looking at that.
It's not symmetrical. Um, Anyway, so that is pretty much all we have for classified this week, other than the upcoming 15th of April pre-orders, which will see Snake Eyes version 4, Monkey Wrench, Battle Armor Cobra Commander, Major Blood, and the Claw with Cobra Pilot go up for pre-orders, unless we hear otherwise before that time. So that will obviously lock up those 4 retail wave figures that kind of moved around a little bit, and pushed Sci-Fi and Night Viper to the next batch. Not quite sure if that means we're going to get that batch for Yojo June, or if this affects the line plan in any way, if we're getting more figures, if they're pulling some of the figures from 2026 into 2025. I don't know. I may ask that question. They might be able to talk on that. And we can kind of base it on the fact that in the past, you guys have had these particular points throughout the year where we've seen pre-orders and retail wave figures. Is that changing this year, sort of thing? And maybe I can ask that question, because that is it's a legitimate question that they can probably talk to. But anyway, Lego Star Wars Kid has asked, is it the new torso? Is it a new torso for Monkey Wrench? I don't know. I don't think so. Do you know, Pat?
I would not know. not having a lot of the 25th, not having a lot of the classified stuff in hand kind of prevents me from having that familiarity that I need. As
I,
much as I can look at pictures of things online, I don't really remember what is on the figures until I've had them in hand.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't tell you either because I don't even know. I mean, I'm not going to notice if I don't notice differences in completely different secondaries. I'm not going to notice a difference in a couple of naked torsos, unfortunately. The crunch looks like. I mean, yeah. Someone just mentioned that the RKW. That is like an old style crunch.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
don't.
point.
I don't feel like tend to. They might do it for the abs characters because it lines up okay, but I don't know. I don't know. Hello, Ben. Ben in the chat. Hello, Ben Conway. Big shout. We're going to be talking about you in a
Oh,
second, Ben.
hey.
He said, "Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Pat." I thought when I first read that, I skimmed it, and it just looked like he was saying good morning to you and not me. And I was about to go, "Oh, thanks, Ben," but no, he said to both of us, "Thank you, mate." He does have tattoos on the actual figure. Will have tattoos. For
Yeah.
those that are talking about it, this is just this is not a final piece. This is a test shot on a body that already exists. These are test pieces on a body that already exists. So I imagine Jay Khan has just maybe used a different body, or it is the actual body they're going to be used. That is going to be. I don't know. All we know is that the secondaries and the pieces are the new parts that we're looking at. Yeah, he will have tattoos. Don't you worry, guys. Yeah, so okay, there we go. No change on the listings at this point, and that goes also to say on 2026 listings, no changes there. We may be updating this very soon though. So I will possibly have a little update for you guys on this particular page. Only one slight update, and it will relate to the next thing we talk about, which is the name only reveals. And I've updated that as well. So Sergeant Slaughter Mercer 2-pack obviously was revealed on the last live event by Emily, but she also revealed that the other Renegades were coming as well, which means Taurus and Red Dog are coming. And we do know that Taurus and Red Dog will be a 2-pack. So it kind of makes sense that, that makes sense. And that's probably why you can understand there'll be a slight update in the listings on the next time I talk to you guys, maybe in the week. We also have digital renders currently, and that is obviously the Ore Striker with Crankcase, Snake Eyes version 4, the MMS with Colonel Hawk, and the retro green shirt. And of course for Cobra, Battle Armor CC, Major Blood, Monkey Wrench, the retro bat, Slice and Dice, and of course the Cold Slither box set. Now, one thing I will say is obviously on the 15th of April, we'll be wiping out Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, Major Blood, and Monkey Wrench from this group. So we'll be back to a very minimal page, unless, of course, they reveal a few more, which is very likely, isn't it? Viper Scout, the Claw, is not in render version anymore because it's already been revealed and shown off. That's how this works. The name only reveals are what we have currently as name only reveals. As soon as we get renders for them, they go onto the renders page. As soon as they get revealed in real life, aka we've had everything revealed so far that also has a digital render for it.
I
But
guess
it's
we could have another page here, though, of things that have real life reveals, but how the pre-orders haven't gone up.
we could do. That would be just me more work for me. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say no on that one. Also, do I have to digitally remove Zartan from the Cold Slither set and put him on the next page because we've seen that figure revealed? Do I have to do that?
No.
Do I have to do a page of leaked figures that we've seen? Probably do, don't I? Because we've seen a
those
lot of
fit in
leaks.
somewhere on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Those fit in on either on the list or on the
Viper Scout just says,
render.
yes, you do. Okay, I'll do that then, Viper Scout. But yeah, there's a reason there's no claw on there is because it has been revealed. We've seen it officially, and so on and so forth. There you go. That's everything. Should we move on to shout-outs, Pat? In a good
Sure.
timing, by the way. I haven't done too bad there.
No, not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay, let's do shout-outs. I'm 9 minutes and 18 seconds behind schedule. Pat, go.
Shout out as always to Philip. If you haven't checked out my YouTube Articulated Points channel, that's the channel that Philip and I put together.
Which one is you on this image, Pat?
What?
Which
I'm
one
the
is
one
you?
on the left.
So you're the one on the left, and Phil is gung
Yeah,
ho. Okay, cool.
right.
I always thought your head was slightly wider than that, but that's fair enough.
My head is actually large. Yes, in real life, I have an enormous head. It's been a problem for me.
Amazing.
Um,
Um, yeah, Viper's Cat just says awesome O-ring video, Pat.
oh, thank you. Yeah, that's what this is the thumbnail for. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, there's a lot of fun stuff that we've put on the channel over the years.
If you haven't checked it out, what are you doing, guys? Get on, stop watching this rubbish episode and go and check out Articulated Points right this second. Link in the description. Lovely stuff. Yeah, David says as well, this was a great episode, Pat. Brilliant.
Thank
Lovely
you.
stuff. Thank you, guys. Well, I don't know why I'm saying thank you. Thank you on Pat's behalf. It really was good, mate. I really enjoyed it as well, as you already are aware. Mark says Pat dropped a super dense video on O-ring history.
Yeah, I fit it. It's roughly what, maybe 10 or 11 minutes
Yeah,
long.
it's not. I genuinely, when you post them, I hope they're about an hour long. Genuinely, I
I
like
appreciate that, but they
I
can't
like
all
all
be
the
an hour long. It
I
takes some.
like the deep dives. I really do. Kickley, hello Kickley. Pat, loved your breakdown of Takara Joe's.
Oh, thank you.
Pat's
Yeah,
getting a lot of love for this one.
yeah, it was fun putting it together. It was a lot of fun.
Mark says dense in the fat sense, PHAT. Um, yeah, and AP is always great, says Sherlock. Brilliant. There you go. Right, we'll move on. Thank you very much, Pat. Shout out to Phil there. If you forgot what he looked like, he's the one on the right here, as you can see. Pretty much the same. And also shout out to Brian Sauer, who does our amazing graphics. I have mentioned already, but we are going to be doing a rebrand for Yojo June. So June the 1st, there'll be a huge rebrand for the full force. We'll have loads of cool new graphics. We'll have loads of cool new stuff, possibly even merchandise. Yeah. So that's kind of cool too. If anyone's interested anyway, but you'll have the opportunity if you are. So massive shout out to Brian, who I work with very closely and all that stuff, and it's going to be awesome. Also, related to Brian, he runs Assembly Required, which of course is happening on the 14th and 15th of November this year, and it is a Cobra Island theme. A few updates. This hasn't changed since the last update they posted, but obviously we are waiting on the 15th of April for the discounted hotel rooms going live. That'll be on the same day that we have those pre-orders from Hasbro, and on the 21st of April, new intel on their first fan activity drops. So that'll be really interesting and fun. They're also doing Operation Armor this year as well, and more obviously info to follow. No kind of information as yet, other than that they will be doing gear kits again, which I love, by the way. The gear kits are just phenomenal, and there's so much cool stuff in there. You get like 4-inch and 6-inch kind of accessories and stuff like that. You get loads of cool like stickers and prints and all sorts of cool stuff. So massive shout out to Codename Iowa, who do a great job for Operation Armor, and of course AR. Cannot wait for both events. And now, of course, shout out Ben earlier, of course, Ben Conway of Skeletron. And of course, you can get the Robo Skull Mark IIs at right this second. They are available. So go, please get your Robo Skull Mark IIs. Probably, I would say, Toy of the Year. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Would you agree with that, Pat, from last year?
That seems correct to me. Yes, I've still not opened mine, and I know that he's going to be sad for me to say that again. But I just time is not friendly with me. I really don't have a lot of it anymore. I don't know where it goes.
Every time you say that you haven't opened a Robo Skull, somewhere in the universe, a Robo Skull loses its wings.
Yeah, yeah. I need to do it. It's been a pressing thing. Maybe I will get. Maybe I will cut out some time this weekend. I don't know. I've got a busy month ahead of me. I've got a busy month ahead of me. I don't know what's going on for the rest of my month, but
I know what's happening. You've got to open a Robo Skull, and you've got to read every comic since IDW started.
I just need a pocket universe where I can step in and not age, but
get Tap to do it.
Toys and Tap will do it.
Tap can do it. Shout out to Tap, who hasn't been in the comments today. But anyway, also related and an update for Skeletron is this beautiful Toby Wilsmer piece for obviously the 375 retro 2-in-1 Skeletron Wolf Trooper action figure. It is absolutely stunning, and a print is available for this one. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you can obviously find that on our Facebook page as well. It's very, very cool, and of course Skeletron's Facebook page and socials, what have you. Really nice that though, isn't it, Pat? I love the little background Robo Skull happening over there.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what?
It's
It's actually got some original prototype Skeletron vibes. The shape of it and the kind of. Have you ever seen that image?
I have, yeah,
Do you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It's like the same angle almost as well.
Right. Maybe it's the angle that's getting it because it does feel like the newer Roboskull because
Oh
that one
yeah,
had like really small wings on it.
yeah. It kind of. I think it's the angle. I think it's the fact that the skull's quite low to the ground on the
Yeah.
wings. I don't know. I think that's quite a cute thing. If that's an homage to that particular image, that's great. But beautiful, and yeah, looks phenomenal. Ben says. Ben just says this. Open it, Pat.
Now
There
it's
you go.
becoming a thing,
Yep, it
or
is
I'll just
becoming a
have to
thing.
hold off.
Exactly. Anyway, massive shout out to Skeletron and of course Ben and everyone involved, Mark and the team. Yeah, love you guys and keep doing awesome things. Now, Kickley Corner. So Kickley reached out to me not long ago and said you should call it Kickley Corner. So that's what I'm going to do. Kickley Corner indeed, because he's been dropping images like it's 1983. Yeah, we'll say 1983. We've got
Sure.
Grand Slam, we've got Short Fuse, and also like ever such artistic license taken here, but very good artistic license from Kickley. I love some of the updates on these characters, and of course Steeler and Clutch as well that went up. I think yesterday and today, this morning, I was busy having to update this image. But these are gorgeous. We know everyone knows we love Kickley on the show, but my god, these are great.
Yeah, and they make me think about how the construction of the vintage figures didn't really work with the coat kind of
Right,
look. And
right.
we talked about that a lot recently with Cobra Commander. So it's like interesting to see the characters represented that way because you don't get to normally see that. And I like how he has that very vamp shade of green on those gas cans
Yeah, yeah. It's there's some really
or water
nice.
cans, whatever they are.
Yeah, there's
You've
some
never really known.
really one's gas, one's water, but they always mix it up because they never put the name on the outside. So you always filling your gas tank with water and drinking gas, which is terrible. No, I love this so much. I love the kind of subtle updates, and I suppose in Short Fuse is kind of sense very drastic updates. Really kind of make a lot of visual
Yeah.
interest on that one, for sure. Really nice stuff, Kickley. Brilliant stuff. Mark says, "Can you Kickley it?" Yes, you can indeed. Love it. And then, of course, we've got Cobra 2. So not Kickley Corner has become Kickley Cove today. Does that make sense? We've got Cobra Commander, Destro, the Baroness, and an officer, because we had the trooper last week as well. But again, beautiful work. And again, little jackets.
Yeah, and he worked a sword in there for Destro. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It is pretty neat, isn't it? It's kind of like a mixture of his Iron Grenadier
Hmm.
vibes as well. Yeah, really, really cool. Lovely stuff as always, Kickley. We love your work, mate, and keep it coming, please. Beautiful stuff. And I believe these prints, you can reach out to Kickley. I believe he's doing these prints are available on via him. I'm not sure, maybe on his website or Kickley. You let us know in the comments, please, bud. 3 more to go, says Kickley. Do you know who they are, Pat? Can you remember? I can't.
No, I can't.
I can't remember who hasn't been done. I thought everyone had been done in that sort of era. Maybe Major Blood?
No, well, yeah, maybe Major Blood. Yeah, I don't know who Major Blood probably would be one. Yeah, I think you're
We'll,
right.
we'll have to find. Kickley's just going to. We'll have to be surprised on that one. But I believe prints are available for these. But you'll have to reach out to Kickley on his socials. Yeah, again, lovely stuff, mate. Love it. Anyway, that is. Oh, one more thing. I got the opportunity to test out my Zartan in the sunshine the other day, and it looks really cool. I think I need. It wasn't the sunniest of days. I think in a more sunny day, it's going to be even more intense. But the change, you can't really see it as clearly on the image, but in person, it was very, very clear. And I'll tell you now, Pat, almost instant. Like you take it into the light and it changes real quick, and then when you put it in the shade, it zips back like super rapid.
You could almost have a race between this one and your even the other Super 7, the Ultimates Zartan.
I think so.
That one changed in the sun really well as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen that one change in real life, so I'm gonna have to. Yeah,
I think I recorded it and sent it to you.
I'll have to look at that. I'll have to dig into my stuff there. Kickley says it's a 20 pack of prints, comes with an original drawing if you want as well. So sorry, that's what he's talking about. Not Zartan right now, but those. Thank you, Kickley. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Anyway, looks awesome. Really, I think Zartan's my favorite of all those. Pat, you've got these figures now, haven't you?
I do. Yeah, I liked this wave. I really liked Zartan and Snake Eyes.
Yeah,
There's still some things that I would like to be a little more vintage G.I. Joe for sure. But overall, as far as just feeling like quality figure wise, those two are, I think, the standouts. Cobra Commander, not as much. I was surprised that that's a completely new sculpt. That is not a repaint.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Wave 1. It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's not like a new head on the body. It's an entirely new figure. Unreal.
Crazy pants. Anyway, yeah, I'm hopefully I'll be reaching out to Brian Flynn to maybe talk a little bit about the current Super 7 stuff as well. And one other little bit of news, the Python Patrol Bat, the Target exclusive, has started showing up in stores now.
Oh, yeah.
So good luck, guys, on those little kind of hunts. But that is the kind of hidden figure that we've had in the past, obviously with Reaction as well. They've done that quite a bit. Anyway, I'm gonna call it there. We've done well. I wanted to do this in an hour. 11 minutes over. Thank you very much, guys, for all the comments today and all of your support for the entire time, and of course all of our wonderful patrons as well. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Q&A. And Pat, thank you very much for jumping on, bud, as per.
Thanks once again. I always love being on.
Yeah, it's always a lol. Kickley also says thank you, Kickley, for the lovely artwork. RKW was asked, have you opened them, Pat?
I actually have, yes. That's a little bit less of a time commitment to open them.
True.
I did open 2 of them and then just completely fell asleep.
Wow.
And then I woke up and opened the other 2.
That's amazing.
Sometimes.
That's amazing.
I'm way too exhausted.
I'm not telling Brian that happened because he'll be like, what? My figures made you fall asleep?
They didn't make me fall asleep. It's just I get home from work, I'm relaxing. The figures came in at like 20 minutes after I left home for work, which that made me sad because I could have, picked them up off the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for all of you.
Yes, Ben, support. You should help me open it.
Yes, Ben, there you go. Yes, Ben, you should come and help Pat open his toys, please, and thank you. It is overwhelming, definitely, because it is obviously so big and there's so much stuff involved. It's like any big vehicle. Like I always find that kind of like a little bit of nervousness initially. That's why I like doing the unboxings, because it kind of allows me to sort of like do it and also practically create a video for it at the same time. In any case, guys, thank you so much again. We'll see you on the next one. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Full force.
Laters. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.